We had some bad weather this week here in Texas, and because of that, I was unable to get my usual amount of boxes from the banks. So for today's nickel hunt and album fill episode, which is number 77, we only have a one box hunt, box 130 for series 1 and box 30 for series 2. Hey everyone, it's RobFindsTreasure and welcome back to my channel. Like I said in the intro, we only have a one box nickel hunt today, and because it's a one box hunt, I will be showing all of the finds from 1959 and earlier, and hopefully we slot another nickel or two for album 2, because the second set of books is actually 2 nickels behind where we were through series 1 after 29 boxes. Now, if you're interested in going back and starting the entire nickel hunt and album fill playlist from the beginning, I always have a link to that down below in the video description, as well as pinned up here for your convenience. I will be giving you guys a look at the books after we've done the hunt to see if we have any upgrades or additions, but we'll save that for the end. In the meantime, let's go ahead and crack open this box. Oh, by the way, it does have the 7447 stamp, and we were able to find a couple of buffalo nickels in the box last hunt that had this stamp, but we were not able to find any of the additions we needed for the book in this box. We had that key date find in the first box of the hunt. All right, let's crack this open and see if we have any lucky enders right off the bat. Well, I don't see any lucky enders right off the bat, but I do see a fair amount of older Jefferson designs, and this one has a little bit of a suspicious look to it. Might be in the 40s. When we get to that one, we'll take a peek. All right, you guys know the drill. Let's start cracking rolls, and if we find something, we'll bring you back. Roll number 4, we have our first 50s Jefferson find, and it is a 1955. I know we need the Philadelphia. Hopefully it's that one. And it's a Denver. It's a Denver, but we can still check it for that D over S over mint mark. Little bit of damage there. I might wipe that away. I don't think it's going to be the D over S. If it's something worth mentioning, I'll bring it back. Otherwise, we'll get back to the hunt. Roll number 5, and we got a close one to the one we need. We got a 1951 nickel here. 1951 Philadelphia. Pretty decent shape as well. Don't need it, I don't believe, but maybe it'll upgrade. Roll number 12, we have another 50s Jefferson find, and this is another 1955. Is it Philly? It's not. It's going to be a Denver. We'll quickly check it again. And I don't see the D over S. For those wondering, the other one wasn't one either. 3 Jeffersons, all from the 50s, none from the 40s yet. Roll number 14, yet another 50s Jefferson. 1954, Denver. Roll number 15, you guessed it, 1953, Denver. All 50s. Roll number 21, we have another 50s Jefferson. 1957, Denver. Same roll, and take a look at this. Flipped it around, and we've got a pretty well misaligned die. Wow, 1975 Denver, and it's probably off by 5 to 10%. That's a nice find, actually. It was reverse facing, and I thought it was a pretty nice strike, and when I flipped it around, I noticed how much it was misaligned. You know it's a misaligned die because the top, or at least the front, is off, but the back is true. If it was an off-center strike, then both sides would be off the same. That's a nice mint error. We'll keep that one for the collection. And get back to the hunt and see if we can add some 40s to the board. Well, ask and you shall receive, because roll 22 is going to give us our first 40s Jefferson nickel. It's a 1946 Philly. We'll just quickly check it for that notch in the R, and I will weigh it up to see if it's a Henning nickel, but likely it's not. But still good to see our first 40s find on the board. Roll number 24 is going to give us another 40s Jefferson nickel. This one's a 1949 Philadelphia. We'll take it, though. Can't get mad at that. Well, we're on roll number 31, and it looks like we're going to have my favorite find in a nickel box. I think I see a buffalo nickel right there. And it is. It is really slick, and I don't see. We'll have to scope it and see if I can see a date. And of course, it's slick on the back too, so that's going to be tough to see. I'm probably going to have to use Nick-A-Date on this, but I will scope it just in case. Man, I can kind of make out something going on over here. Let me see if I can work on it a little bit and get a date off that, and then I'll let you guys know. But in the meantime, we'll also check it for a mint mark. And of course, it's tough there as well. Could be something. Could be the top of an S or a D. Could just be damage. Let me spend a little time on it. Hopefully, I don't have to nick-a-date it, but if I do, I'll bring you in with an analysis of what the date and or the mint mark is. Well, unfortunately, I couldn't extract a date or a mint, so I had to use some nick-a-date. I do have a link to nick-a-date down below in the video description if you guys would like to use it on your nickels, although when you do use it, it does take away about 80 to 90% of any value the nickel would have had otherwise, but sometimes knowing the date and mint is worth it. In this case, hopefully you can see that. We have a 1920 nickel here and no mint mark. So 1920 Philadelphia, not one we needed. We had to use nick-a-date to get the date. Luckily, it wasn't a very valuable one. And at the end of the day, though, I'll take another Buffalo nickel because we had gone through quite a spell without finding them. And now we've got 2 from last hunt and already 1 from this hunt with 19 rolls to go. Roll number 33, and we're going to have another 1951 nickel. This is a 1951, and I think that's a San Francisco. And it is. 1951S is actually a semi-key date or a better date. I have it listed on my mat right there, 1951S. I don't know if we need this for the second book, but that's a tougher date for sure. Maybe we do need it. And that's going to be our second 51. We got the 51P and S. All we need is that 50D. Anyway, that's a better date. I'm excited. Let's get back to the hunt. Roll number 36, and in the box of 50s nickels, we have another one. 1953, Denver. We're on roll number 39, and it was that ender that I said looked suspicious in the beginning. I went ahead and pulled the wrapper aside, and it looks like we're going to have a 47 maybe. Let's take a look at it. That ender is indeed going to be a 1947, and I think that's a 47S. It is. We'll take a 47S, 1 year off a semi-key date, but still a good find nonetheless. Roll number 42 is going to give us our first foreign coin of the hunt, and it's going to be a 1995 Canadian nickel. We'll add that to the collection and search for more older finds. Same roll, and we will have an older find because we have a 1941 Philadelphia. Roll 43, and these 74-47 nickel boxes sure like giving me buffaloes because as I slid them down, we have another buffalo nickel. Let's take a look at it together, and we're going to have a date. I think that's 1929. Let's just double check. It is 1929, and is there a mint mark? There is not. 1929P, obviously this one's in much better shape than the last one. Pretty decent detail for being almost 100 years old. We'll take it. 2 buffaloes, but still no silver yet in the box. Roll number 44, and we're going to have our second foreign, and this one's going to be a Mexican peso, I believe. Los Estados Unidos Mexicanos. $1 or 1 peso. I think that's 93. It is 1993. Second foreign, always fun to find them. Let's find some more. Roll number 49 is going to give us another 40s find. It's just another 1941. And I think that's a San Francisco. It is. Quite a few San Francisco minted nickels in this hunt, which I'll take, but too bad we don't need that one. Well, that 1 box nickel hunt is complete, and again, no 50D, but we did get a semi-key date 51S, and I'm hopeful that we might need that for one of the books, or at least the second set of books, I should say. We got 8 in the 50s and 5 in the 40s, which makes 13, 2 buffalo nickels, which makes 15, a mint air for 16, and 2 foreigns for 18. I do like 20 or more finds in a box, so it's a little bit light, but with a couple of buffaloes and a mint air and a semi-key date, I'm not going to argue. On top of that, I pulled across 4 decent 80s and 90s nickels to see if we can upgrade the Series 2 books a little bit more, and we'll check those in just a second. Speaking of the books, Let me go ahead and compare the finds to the albums and bring you back in with a look at the books and see if we have any upgrades or additions. Well, I've compared the finds to both albums, and as expected, nothing for the Series 1 book, still missing that 50D, of course. For the Series 2 albums, we were able to upgrade two. We were able to upgrade the 1994D, a nicer example, and a slightly better example of the 47S, which we'll take. The find of the box was, as expected, that 1951S. We didn't have it. 7.7 million minted, so we did actually slot a find in today's hunt. Now, after 30 boxes for Series 2, we're only missing 7 nickels, which puts us one behind where we were through 30 boxes, and actually 31 boxes for Series 1. You can never get mad at doing a one-box hunt, slotting a nickel, upgrading a couple, adding a couple of Buffalo nickels to the collection, and of course, finding a mint air. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one-box nickel hunt. Hopefully I can also get more nickel boxes for next week so we can do some two-box hunts. But in the meantime, we'll take what we can get and we'll hunt what we have. If you did enjoy the hunt, I would appreciate that thumbs up. And as always, everyone, happy hunting and thanks for watching. I know 2022 Silver Jar, you're used to getting a snack after a nickel hunt, but we've got nothing for you today. Looks like you're going to have to stay hungry for a little bit longer.